I don't have motivation, I have discipline.
Heavyweight champion of the world.
I'm not sure anyone can beat Oleksandr Usyk.
Don't bet against the Ukrainians.
If he does this, it's one of the greatest achievements boxing's ever seen.
1 month ago, a man with one professional boxing fight in his entire life nearly beat the greatest heavyweight on the planet. And this week, that same undefeated champion, the man who has never lost, not once, not ever, just walked away from every title he owns. 4 belts, 4 different countries, 0 fights to earn them. This is how you blow up a heavyweight division without throwing a single punch. Rewind to Egypt 1 month ago. Oleksandr Usyk, 39 years old, undefeated in 25 professional fights, a 2-time undisputed heavyweight king, steps in against Rico Verhoeven at the Pyramids of Giza. Verhoeven is a legend, but not in this sport. He's a kickboxing champion. Before this fight, he had exactly 1 professional boxing match on his entire record. 1. And for 10 rounds, Verhoeven did not just survive. He was winning, landing angles Usyk had never been made to solve, walking him down, making the best heavyweight on the planet look a step slow and a beat late. Usyk looked slow. Usyk looked old. Usyk looked, for the first time in his career, genuinely beatable. And the scorecards through 10 rounds backed it up. It took a stoppage in the 11th round. A stoppage that split the entire boxing world in half, with half the sport calling it early and the other half calling it overdue. For Usyk to survive with his crown intact. Because that's the thing about legacies. They're not made in the wins that come easy. They're made in the 10 rounds where you almost lose it all and find a way through anyway. That's what we mean when we say made under pressure. 1 month after nearly losing to a kickboxer, Usyk posts a video, calm, almost casual, no urgency in his voice at all. He opens by talking about the weather. Then, almost as an afterthought, he says it's a good day to give up every belt he currently holds. WBC, WBAIBF gone voluntarily. Usyk keeps only the Ring Magazine title, boxing's version of I'm still the guy, I just don't need your paperwork to prove it. His team says it's about control and about Usyk deciding his own final chapter instead of letting mandatory challengers and sanctioning body politics pick it for him. One last fight, no opponent named, no date, just the last dance. Some in his camp have even hinted this clears a path for Anthony Joshua to compete for and reunify those very belts. Nothing official, but in boxing, nothing official usually means everything is already in motion behind the scenes. Boxing does not wait. 24 hours, 1 day. After Usyk's announcement, the WBC already has a new king, Agit Kabayel, born in Leverkusen, Germany, to Kurdish parents. He didn't throw a single punch for it. He was simply upgraded overnight from interim champion to full champion. The first Kurdish heavyweight world champion in the history of the sport. The first German heavyweight champion since Max Schmeling in 1932. Kabayel's own reaction says it all. He called it unbelievable and confirmed on social media that as of that day, he was the WBC heavyweight world champion of the world, a title he's wanted his whole career, delivered to him not in a ring, but in a phone notification. The WBA does the same with Murat Gassiev, the Russian former unified cruiserweight king, now handed the full title after mowing down Peter Kadiru in 6 brutal rounds in Moscow. And they're not even the full picture. Daniel Dubois already holds the WBO after a war with Fabio Wardley back in May. Dubois came off the canvas twice to stop him in the 11th round. Meanwhile, the IBF sits completely vacant, and Moses Atauma, the most hyped prospect in the entire division, steps up in class against Filip Hrgovic on August 29th in London, the kind of fight that could put him next in line to fill it. 4 belts, 4 men, 4 different countries. Not one of them has beaten the man who used to hold all of it. That's the standard we live by. Built for fighters, not for men who inherit a throne by paperwork. Here's the question ripping through boxing media right now. If nobody beat Usyk for these belts, who is actually the champion? The WBA isn't waiting around for the confusion to settle either. They've already sanctioned a title eliminator, Gassiev versus Kabayel. 2 men who inherited their crowns, about to fight each other to prove who actually deserves to wear one. Because a belt handed to you and a belt earned in the trenches will never feel the same. It's not about the round they give you, it's about the round you take. And through all of this chaos, the old guard hasn't gone anywhere. Tyson Fury, twice beaten by Usyk in back-to-back unification fights, is back on the comeback trail, coming off a win over Arslanbek Makhmudov and set for July 24th against Marius Wach. And this is the part that changes everything. Joshua and Fury have reportedly already signed to fight each other later this year. Two former two-time heavyweight champions, 0 current world titles between them, finally about to settle it. But before any of that, Joshua steps back into the ring July 25th against Christian Prenga, fighting through something far heavier than boxing politics after surviving a car crash in Nigeria that killed 2 of his friends. This one is bigger than a belt before he's even thrown a punch. Say what you want about the timing, say what you want about walking away 1 month after nearly losing to a kickboxer with 1 professional fight to his name, but Oleksandr Usyk is doing something almost no champion in history has the guts to do. He's leaving on his own terms, undefeated, undisputed, and completely unwilling to let anyone else write his ending for him. That's the difference between a champion and a legend. A champion defends the belt, a legend decides when the story is actually over. Forged by pressure. That's not just a phrase, that's exactly how Usyk built this entire legacy in the first place. And somewhere in Germany right now, Kabayel is going to sleep a world champion, a title he never had to fight for, in a division that just got turned completely upside down in the span of 1 weekend. 4 belts are up for grabs, and the whole heavyweight division just got rewritten overnight. Who do you think walks out of this as the real heavyweight king? Kabayel, Gassiev, or somebody who hasn't even entered the picture yet? Drop your pick in the comments. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of this, because heavyweight boxing has not been this wide open in a decade. This is Knockout Kings Elite, built for fighters, forged by pressure. We'll see you in the next one.